Welcome to the deep dive. We got some really great questions from you about stress, wanting to get the important stuff without feeling buried in information.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, our plan today is basically to tackle those questions head on. What stress is, how it hits you, and, what you can actually do.
Sounds good. Let's jump in. That first question you had was about the body's initial reaction.
Right. What happens right away?
Okay, so when your brain flags something as a threat, and that could be anything, really your body instantly shifts gears.
That initial surge, that's the biological stress response we hear about, like an old school alarm.
Exactly. It's pure survival instinct, designed for quick bursts. The problem starts when that alarm just stays on.
Ah, okay.
Hmm.
And that leads into chronic stress, right? We hear it's bad, but what does that prolonged high alert actually do to us?
Well, think about it like running a machine nonstop.
Hmm.
It puts a real strain on your body's systems. And mentally, it can really impact your mood, your focus.
Makes sense. So how do we spot it before it gets too bad? What are those like early signs, maybe?
You might notice things, maybe subtle at first.
Uh,
Sleep getting disrupted, feeling more on edge maybe,
uh,
or just finding it hard to concentrate.
Little clues.
Yeah, even things like regular headaches can sometimes be your body saying, hey, something's up.
Okay. Now, you also asked about the specific hormones involved, cortisol and adrenaline. What's their job in all this?
Right, so adrenaline is that immediate kick, the fight or flight fuel. Gets your heart pumping energy up right now.
Instant action.
Exactly. Cortisol is more like the manager for the longer haul. It helps regulate energy, immune response during that stress period. It sustains the effort.
Got it. Quick burst versus sustained support. Okay, so what about quick fixes? You asked specifically about breathing exercises, grounding techniques.
Huh.
Do they actually work when you're feeling stressed right now?
Oh, absolutely. They can be surprisingly powerful. Deep breathing, for instance, it directly helps to uh, regulate your nervous system, kind of tells your body it's okay to calm down.
Okay, and grounding.
Grounding, just focusing on what's physically around you, what you can touch or see, it yanks you out of those anxious thoughts spinning in your head. Very practical.
Simple tools, real effect. Good to know. What about the bigger picture stuff? Lifestyle things like diet and exercise. How do they fit into managing stress over time?
Oh, they're foundational, really.
Mm-hmm.
Think of a good diet as giving your body the right resources to cope. And exercise. Well, it's a fantastic stress buster.
Mm-hmm.
Releases endorphins, improves mood.
Right, it's not just about physical health.
Definitely not. It helps regulate everything.
And, we're not alone in this. How crucial are our connections with people? That was another thing you brought up.
Hugely important. Social support, friends, family, community, it acts like a buffer. Having people to talk to, feeling understood, that makes a massive difference.
Don't underestimate the power of connection. Okay,
Yeah.
what about tech? It's everywhere. Can things like apps or wearables actually help manage stress, or do they just add to it?
It can be both, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use them intentionally, like meditation apps or wearables that track sleep or heart rate variability, they can give you useful feedback and insights.
So it's about using it wisely, not just letting it add noise.
Precisely.
Now, this distinction between good and bad, stress, eustress, and distress, it always felt a bit fuzzy. Can you clear that up?
Yeah, it's a good question. Eustress is basically positive stress, the kind that motivates you, like prepping for a presentation or a race. It feels challenging but manageable.
Okay, like excitement almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Distress is the opposite. It feels overwhelming, draining, like you can't cope. Often the difference is less about the stressor itself and more about how we perceive it and if we feel we have the resources to handle it.
So perception and coping ability are key. Which brings us to resilience. It's not about avoiding stress altogether, is it? But building up our ability to handle it. How do we start making a plan for that?
Building resilience is really about first knowing what pushes your buttons, your stressors, then understanding how you react, and finally, proactively using the tools that work for you.
Like a personalized toolkit.
Exactly. It can be exercise for one person, mindfulness for another. Maybe it's leaning on that social support we talked about.
Yeah.
It's about finding your mix.
So wrapping this all up, based on the questions you sent in, what's the core message about managing stress?
I think it's about understanding, really.
Mm.
Understanding how your body reacts, knowing stress affects you physically and mentally, and then actively using different strategies. That knowledge, that action, it puts you back in the driver's seat.
Puts you in control. That makes sense. Okay, so a final thought for you, our listener. Thinking about everything we've just discussed, what's maybe one small technique you could explore?
Yeah, maybe just one thing.
Could be trying a 2-minute breathing exercise next time you feel overwhelmed, or maybe making that call to a friend. Just consider what small step you might take. It could be a really worthwhile deep dive for yourself. Thanks for joining us.